moderately effective from the perspective of the Border Patrol. I heard at the time that for every 2 migrants who were caught, more than 10 would get across. That seemed about right, because a Border Patrol vehicle could only hold a few, and migrants usually came in large groups, too big for the patrols to manage. It wasn't long before the Border Patrol presence touched our lives more directly. One day when I was about 12, I went for a walk with my mother down by the nearby open fields and farms. It was winter and the rainy season, which always brings a spring-like bloom of plants and flowers. My mom loved to see the flowers, and I liked to play in the seasonal stream that was full of tadpoles. As we left the neighborhood and walked near the Tijuana River, I ran ahead of my mother to see what I could find in the water below. I made this trek frequently, sometimes with her and many times alone. It was my favorite place to explore. I could see Mexico in front of me, and even hear sounds of traffic and music coming from the nearby city of Tijuana, just several hundred yards away. My mother was a Mexican woman with dark features and dark skin. She spoke English with a thick Mexican accent. That day, as she walked seemingly alone along the road near the U.S Mexico border, moving toward where I was, she caught the attention of a Border Patrol agent who was looking for migrants. Agents would drive up and down our neighborhood streets regularly, always on the lookout for brown faces. This one stopped to question my mother about her immigration status, asking for identification. She told him she lived just up the road and could get her ID from home. The agent didn't believe her. She told him that her husband was in the house and that he could stop by and ask him. He still did not believe her. She told him she had lived in the United States for 20 years and that I, her son, was playing nearby. Instead of listening to my mother's pleas, the agent put her in handcuffs and then in the back of his patrol car. He took her to the Imperial Beach Border Patrol station, where she was processed and held in a cell. Within a few hours, she had been deported to Tijuana. A few minutes after she had been taken away, I came back from the river's edge to find my mother missing. I called for her and walked up and down the road but found no trace of her. I ran home and told my father. He quickly called the police and we all waited. We suspected that the Border Patrol had taken her, but since I hadn't seen anything, we weren't sure. For more than 24 hours, we knew nothing about what had happened to her. Later the next day, after she had arrived in Tijuana, she contacted us to let us know where she was. We felt relieved that she was safe, but also angry that she had been deported because of the color of her skin. She was, after all, a legal U.S. resident. My father left immediately to bring her her green card so she could get back home. She never went for that walk again, and she never left the house without carrying her green card and driver's license. I never forgot that moment. There were many others that made me question U.S. policy at the border. Before I became an investigative reporter, I noticed how the landscape changed near my childhood home. I saw more agents patrolling my neighborhood. There always seemed to be a helicopter in the air, especially at night. The border fence was rising, haphazardly at first, then walls followed years later. The area grew more militarized by the year. This was all during the late 1970s. Border security was a part of growing up so close to Mexico. But it was clear that more migrants crossed the border illegally than were caught. The United States needed farm workers, construction labor, maids, and busboys. The U.S. government put up a thin line of defense that allowed the cheap labor in while demonstrating some attempt at stopping the constant flow of migrants. It appeared that border security at the time was just a show for the public. Some migrants were caught, but not enough to hurt the U.S. businesses that relied on the steady stream of labor. The pull into the United States from Mexico was stronger than the defense against it. It wasn't until the 1980s that security strategy changed, and mostly for political reasons. What was once a weak show of force and anemic attempt to stop illegal immigration became a more heavy-handed and militaristic approach to catch migrants. A warlike stance began to take shape against a population that was poor and mostly unarmed. Politicians pulled the levers and commanded the troops. Defense contractors escalated the tensions, while companies in need of masses of laborers tried to tamp them down. Migrants were caught in the middle. Every time I returned to visit family in southern San Diego, I noticed more border guards, more border fencing, more helicopters. It was getting serious. Playing army with the Border Patrol helicopter would now be a life-and-death exercise.